back to Growing and Glowing. This is your girl Wens.
And your boy Brans.
And we're back with another episode. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about
how to effortlessly not give a fuck. And that is like in the sense of for your mental health and to put you first in any situation,
Yes, exactly. Okay, so then how has not giving a fuck helped you? And how do you think it would help our viewers?
Well, not giving a fuck has really helped me in the sense of putting myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like not giving a fuck has really like made me like an open person into trying new things and just being more open minded about certain situations.
Yeah, exactly. I like that and I agree. Honestly, just not giving a fuck is definitely gonna open like your
Yeah.
mentality and how you perceive the world, day by day. I also want to add to that, like not giving a fuck helps you if you're like a very insecure person like myself.
Yes.
Like I used to care so much about like what other people thought about me, whether it was family, friends, even stranger
Yes.
guys. Like I cared what fucking strangers thought about me. Like I
Like I
was
made it like a job to like prove to people that I'm a good person,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
that's where I'm like a lot of like the me not giving a fuck stem from because I got tired of trying to prove to people that I'm a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Because chances are they don't even really care about
Yeah.
themselves and how they come off.
Yeah, exactly. And that gets tiring, like freaking just really trying to perceive yourself as someone that you're not. Like you're constantly trying to be this person for somebody else, but it's like you're not living to your true self. And that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that you're constantly putting this fake front for everybody to satisfy them when the only person's happiness you should be worried about is your happiness. And yeah, I definitely agree. Just really not giving a fuck helped with my insecurities so much. Like the fact that I used to care about what strangers like thought about me as I was walking down the street of like what was I gonna wear, how do I look? Like does this go with me? Does not like just little stuff like that. It was just so much like playing in my head that I would
Yeah.
overthink all this stuff. But then it is like for what? Like these people don't even know me. They don't pay my bills. Like why the fuck should you care? Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yeah, and it just sucks because I feel like a lot of people, like for a lot of people's situation, like it has to get really bad, for them to
Yeah.
like really not give a fuck. Because it just comes to like you said, like
Mm-hmm.
your confidence and how you put yourself out there, and it just when you're not surrounded by like the most supportive people or like the most like positive energy, like it's hard. Like obviously, like it's gonna be hard, especially being that around you. It's like your job to make it not affect you.
Yes.
And maybe like if you're like obviously like if you're a person who obviously cares, like maybe train yourself to take it differently
Mm-hmm.
and to maybe like apply changes when it comes to that.
Yeah, and that's why it's really important for you guys struggling out there like with these insecurities or just not being comfortable being around like being yourself around in public. This will help you a lot. Like the art of not giving a fuck isn't like to say like in a bad way. Like you're not gonna disregard human emotions and all
Yeah, or
this
people's
stuff.
feelings. Like it's
Yeah,
not giving a fuck doesn't mean you have to be a bitch. Or
exactly.
it's just basically like making choices when you're thinking about yourself and not other people. That's really what not giving a fuck is about.
Yes, exactly. So, just put yourself first, regardless of what you fear other people are going to think about you or say about you. Because in the day, like, it's just,
Projection at the end of the day, I
yeah.
feel like it's projection.
Yes, exactly.
And like I don't know. I'm like it's not my fault that you're feeling insecure.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yes, back to not giving a fuck. Like, what are some things that you told yourself or how you trained yourself not to care? Because obviously, like, I don't know about you, but there's times where I still care.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what do you do to maintain like your not
How to
giving a
like
fuck
stay in that
state?
mindset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you?
Okay. So that's a good one. That's a really
Yes.
good
Okay.
question.
Great.
So like obviously like I try my best not to give a fuck, but there's days where like my insecurities get to me or I do start giving a little bit of a fuck, like I'll go to the gym wearing a certain fit. I'm like, oh, like I don't know if I should be wearing this. Am I doing this
Yes.
right? Like blah blah blah. Like people are staring at me, like all this stuff. So then what I try to do is like I constantly remind myself, like, you know what? And I really like this saying that I heard from another podcast. So this girl, she said everybody's walking around with a bag of insecurities literally over the shoulder. Like people have their own shit going on. Like everybody has their own fucking
Baggage.
problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their own baggage. And we don't realize that. Like we go around not noticing, thinking that people are focusing on us when in reality, everybody's focused on themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Like, I'm sorry guys, but you're not that important to everybody.
Exactly.
Like as much as we love to say like, oh, like this is my world, whatever, I'm the main character. Yeah, you are in your mind, but like in other people's minds, like they don't give a fuck. Like they have their own fucking insecurities, they have their own
Yes.
fucking problems. Like they don't care. Like they're focused on their life and their shit, not yours.
Yes, and that's funny that you mentioned that because that's literally what I always tell myself in the back of my head whenever
Mhm.
like I'm having like that moment where like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like like, why am I like if someone's gonna notice that this is a little ripped or like there's a little
Yeah.
spot or something, like I stain myself with my energy drink or
And you
something.
overthink that shit.
Yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, like I tell myself, I'm like, at the end of the day, there's like what? How many? Like a billion, 2 billion?
There's
Like a billion of people on
there's a
this
trillion
world.
out there.
Exactly. Like, trust me, no one cares about you. There's other more important things going on.
Yeah, exactly. And like we have to really remind yourself that. Well, you have to really remind yourself about that and realize that yeah, you're just not that important in everybody
Yeah.
else's life. And even if you do happen to do something embarrassing, which has happened to all of us, just remember that yesterday is history and tomorrow's a mystery. So
Yes.
nobody's gonna fucking remember what you did yesterday.
I
Like
don't know what I did 5 days ago.
literally,
What I
like
don't even know what I ate 5 days ago. To be honest.
yeah, like, and trust me, like in that moment might have been embarrassing or
Yes.
whatever, but literally weeks from now, months from now, nobody's gonna give a fuck unless you bring it up and constantly remind people of it. Nobody cares. Like they forgot about that, whatever is, just learn to laugh about it, and forget it. And because the past is in the past, and tomorrow, like I said, it's a mystery. And every time the sun rises in the morning, think of it as a
A
restart
restart
button.
button, yeah.
Because that's what it is. Each day is a new beginning. Each day you get to be somebody new, do something new.
Like a new opportunities to start all over again.
Yes, exactly. And that's life. So who gives a fuck what you did yesterday? You know what? Even embarrass yourself. Like who cares? Like nobody's going to remember but you. And
Exactly.
once you learn the art of not giving a fuck, life just gets so much easier, right?
Yes. And I know like it sounds harsh, like oh, like how not to give a fuck and that you don't matter that much. But
Mm-hmm.
like at the end of the day, like it's logically true. There's other people around you, like someone is thinking probably about what they're gonna eat like later
Yeah.
that day. Like me personally, I'm usually thinking about like what I gotta do after or you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's why it's like, really important for you to have that in the mind that you you're not on people's priority lists. Like
Exactly.
you should be on your own. So you focus on what you gotta do.
Yeah, just think about like how you do your day by day. Like on my day by day, like I'm thinking about other stuff like my bills or like this and that. Like that's literally how everybody else thinks, their own fucking problems. Like, and just what helps me a lot too is to think like, why the fuck do I care about this person who has never walked a day in my shoes?
Exactly. And why would you hold yourself back from bettering yourself just because oh you might care what, this or you might care about that. Like it shouldn't be like that. When it comes
Yeah,
to bettering yourself and focusing on yourself, that's when you should really be selfish and not give a fuck.
exactly.
Because no one should come in between you and yourself.
Yes, period. I love that.
Right.
And yeah, like I was saying, like these people, they don't know what the fuck it's like to be in your shoes. They've
Yeah.
never had to deal with the shit you've had to deal with. They've never paid, they don't even fucking pay your bills. So why do you care? Like this person has no say over you when they literally have done nothing for you. Especially a stranger, especially if you're like me who actually gave a fuck about these people who I've never met in my life, who I've never interacted with. Why? Why do you care? Like just stop caring, stop giving a fuck. Like do stuff that makes you happy. Who cares what people see or say of you? Like just do stuff that's going to make you happy and
Yes.
fulfill your heart.
Yeah, because why would you want to live a life of regret when you could live one of fulfillment and one that actually, makes you happy?
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like when you take baby steps to do that, I feel like it's just naturally gonna come to you, and you're gonna
Mhm.
naturally like like not care. Like you're gonna do this because you want to do it. You're gonna do this because it's what you have to do, and it doesn't matter. Like as
Yeah.
long as you get it done and you do what you have to do, I feel like that already is taking baby steps
Yes,
into not
exactly.
caring. Because for me, it was like when I would wanted to do something like when I first started working out.
Mhm.
Like I wish I didn't care because like I would have my progress would have been even more now. You know what I mean? Now that
Oh,
it is now,
yes.
so that's why I'm like it really like. Would you rather live that regret like us that or me that I could have been more fit or in a better
Yeah.
place than I am now? I mean, I'm happy with where I'm at now, but I could have been in a farther place. And that's why when it comes like not to give a fuck, that's what I mean. Like you should put yourself first and not care what anybody thinks and get what you need to do done.
Yes, I love that. Exactly. And yeah, like Brand said, like once you really start realizing how much you've been missing out because you cared, it's gonna hit you and it's gonna hit you
Yeah.
hard and you realize like, you know what, like I'm tired of this and I'm gonna live my life like this and it's gonna change your life so drastically, guys. Like we wouldn't be doing this or talking to you guys in front of this camera if
Yeah.
we chose to actually give a fuck what people thought about our podcast. Like, we could have easily been like, you know what, no, but what if people don't watch it? Or
Yeah.
like, no, like, what are they gonna say?
Yeah, but it's like a little setup. But no, like
Yeah.
it's what we wanted to do, and we're happy with it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with who's supporting us and who's showing us love, and that's all that matters. And that's
Yes.
why it's important for you to do what you need to do and put yourself out there because you're special. Everybody's special in their own way, and we all are allowed to show our light.
Yes, and let us we want to see the light. And trust me,
Yes,
people want to know the real you.
yes,
Everybody prefers somebody who's more authentic and themselves. Like, people look up to those kinds of people, and
yes,
the people you look up to, you like them because they're different.
yeah,
So why can't you be that person? Why
exactly,
don't you choose to be that light and that person? Show the world what you have to offer.
exactly.
Because we all have something to offer. Like, God or whoever you believe in made each and every one of us special, because nobody's DNA is the same. As much as you want to say, oh, it's we're like this person, no, like, not even your siblings are literally like you. Like, nobody's like you. Like,
Everybody has different.
you're that fucking special. Like, you have nobody in this
Yeah,
fucking
literally one
world
of a kind.
like you. Exactly. So why hold back?
Exactly.
Well, I feel like another ways of not giving a fuck, and we mentioned this before in other episodes, like really learning to say no to people. That's a way of giving a fuck.
Yes.
Not giving a fuck, sorry. Putting yourself first, make time for you, like prioritize yourself. Not giving a fuck comes with discipline. So, example, for me on Sundays, I like to do most of my skincare, like my hair care, all on that. It's like that day because I have more time that day or whatever. And I really prioritize myself that day because that's my day. It's the day that I feel special. It's the day that I can do stuff. And that's me not giving a fuck. Like, I'll tell, certain people, like, no, I can't do that day. Cause that's me not giving a fuck in the sense that I gotta take care of myself first. Cause I come first. And if I'm good, then I'll be able to be good to everybody else. But if I'm not good, then I'm not gonna function the entire week the same. So in that kind of sense, really put yourself first. That's how not to give a fuck. That's a little baby step you can do.
And to add more to that, when you don't give a fuck, you automatically start opening new doors for yourself because when you don't care, you put yourself in positions you never thought you would or would never
Mm-hmm.
feel comfortable being in. Because when you care, I feel like when you care a lot about or what's around you, opinions, and just anything that you care about around you, like I feel like that does hold you back a lot.
Yeah,
As if
definitely.
like if you're a person who like, you know what, I don't care what people think. I don't care what gets in my way. What time I'm gonna get what I need to do done and be successful in it.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly true, guys. Like, you hold yourself back so much giving a fuck. Like, oh no, like, I'm not good enough for this position. You turn down so many opportunities that are literally
Yeah.
being thrown at you without realizing that, because you're so caught up in this mindset of trying to impress everybody else and trying to stick to like this plan that you have or whatever. But that's not life, and you really have to you have to speak up for yourself and step up for yourself, because once you, like Brand said, you stop giving a fuck, all these new doors open, and you're gonna realize that, and you're gonna be able to take advantage of that really soon. And you'll notice that the most successful people, like, they prioritize themselves. They stop giving a fuck, like, they knew what they had to do and they just went for it, and that's exactly what you have to do.
Yes. And this is not to bash anybody. Like obviously we're all in different parts of our journey. If you're still struggling with that, that's okay. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
part of the journey and you obviously being more disciplined because there's certain things where I still give a fuck about.
Yeah,
Like for an
same.
example, like I like to sing, like music is my passion, but I can't sing in front of people. Like I genuinely think people like think I sound bad.
He
So
sounds
that's
good though, guys. Like,
thank
let
you.
me
You're so
tell
cute.
you,
Oh,
let
you're
me
so
tell
cute. But yeah, like that's one of like the examples where I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't give a fuck
Yeah.
because I feel like I would like do
Like,
videos and do more stuff, but I still care
yeah,
in that sense. But
I feel
what about
that.
you? What is something that like something
Well,
similar?
I say like the same
Yeah, huh?
thing.
I
Like,
feel like yeah.
yeah, like I just not in the sense of that. Like, for me, I still get really insecure. Like, let's see.
I have like little moments where like you die yourself kind of or
Yeah, a lot, and it's a lot, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, singing is definitely one of them. Like, I rarely sing in front of people. Like, rarely. Like, I love to sing my heart out of my own
yes.
car,
I
but
know
that's
you already.
it.
I can tell you can sing too because you hum pretty.
That's it, though, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
no,
all you're getting from
that's
me. A
all. That's
hum.
all we get. Yes, humming.
Like, it's just a hum for me. But
I'm dead.
like, if I wasn't that insecure, then I would definitely, pour my heart out. I used to like do that, but not anymore. And then just in the sense of like what I wear, I get very insecure. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
like, because I've always been like bullied my entire life for being so underweight. So
Yes.
for me, I always have that like constantly in the back of my head, like, oh, like, you're too skinny for that, or like blah blah blah. And like it's always in the back of my head, especially when I'm working out. I'm like, dude, like I look like I'm gonna like I don't know, like I just don't feel like that in that confident doing
In
some
that
stuff,
moment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so it does take a lot of work.
Right?
And even
Yes.
when you come so far, sometimes you're gonna have those moments and that's perfectly normal, perfectly fine. But just, remind yourself of how far you've come and really about how much people aren't really acknowledging you and how everybody's in
Exactly.
their own little world, thinking about their own little things, that's gonna help you a lot. And then once you do stop, giving a fuck, it gets easier. I'm not gonna say it's ever gonna stop or like you're not gonna ever get those bad moments again, but it gets easier with each time.
Yes. I love that. And yes, I think you mentioned like that part of like, the people's baggage and stuff. I also feel like that's really important to talk about because person walks around with a lot of baggage, obviously like they're gonna be walking around like with negative, and
Yeah.
it's just like at that point like it's just your job to obviously like discipline yourself and create that boundary, especially if you're on like that kind of like energy 24/7.
Yeah.
I feel like it's important for you to kind of like stay away because I feel like in sense that kind of energy disturbs like your solitude, like your
Yes.
what you're going through, you're trying to work on yourself. So I feel like that's a little disclaimer to put out there.
Yes, definitely.
Like distance yourself if you need to distance yourself.
I would also like to add, once you become that person who, stops giving a fuck, you just get so much more respect. Like people
Yes.
respect people who like actually set their boundaries and know what the fuck they want. Like,
Yes.
and you know that. Like, I'm sure you've met people like that. And you're like, damn, like she knows what she wants, or
Yeah,
like he
like
knows what
damn.
she wants. Like
Yeah,
they make such an impression on you,
me
and
too.
they look so well put together. And you're just like, oh, okay, like I gotta get my shit together,
No,
you
literally,
know.
yeah.
And like yeah, like I felt that right away too. Like when I really kind of stopped giving a fuck, like the
Yeah.
respect is it's different, and you'll notice that in your workplace, like with your friends and like
Yes.
all of that, like it really comes into place, and those people are respected, and the way they portray themselves to other people is just it's different. Like you really
Yeah.
hold yourself to such a high level
And then they
that
start holding you to a higher one.
exactly, yeah. And especially if you're somebody who's used to like people stepping all over you,
Like
like
yes.
that's when you should learn to really stop giving a fuck. Because if you continue to give a fuck, all you're gonna get is that people keep stepping all over you and they're gonna keep taking advantage of you. Sadly, that's how life is. The nicest people sometimes get like the most shit.
Yes. Okay, and to get more into details with the projection, people projecting on you, um, it really just comes down to like basically like hating, like haters. Like I don't know. I feel like when it comes to that, I really tend to not give a fuck because at the end of the day, like I said, they're just projecting, and chances are they're probably the reason they're treating you that way is because they see something that they don't see in themselves,
Yes,
and
exactly.
that's why it's really important for you not to give a fuck because that's all what it really kind of is. You are showing something that they lack of, and unfortunately, like if you're a person like who obviously like just shows up and gives 110% and just you're that bitch and you got it like that, like you're always gonna have that, honestly,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Like that's why it's really important for you not to give a fuck because for examples, like I've had like two other jobs and like I've had to deal with like people obviously like treating me a certain way because I guess I'm just I don't know, like I'm too much for them or just I don't know like what it is, but that's why like it's really important for you not to give a fuck because I closed myself out of that opportunity that was good money just
Mm-hmm.
because of that. And I wish I would have like not gave a fuck then, but now like everything I went through there, like it kind of like taught me to now, and obviously now when I get a new job, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be more prepared.
Yes, exactly. And I love that you said that thing about the haters and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I personally have struggled with that a lot. Like and like it's crazy for me because it's been something like my entire life. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really the type to be confrontational to people, and like I really like to like tell them like, okay, we have a problem, like let's
Let's
talk
fight.
about it.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, oh me.
Oh, well,
I'm
like
like, oh me. I'm like, let's
before
fight.
we fight, let's talk about it. And if you
I'm
don't want
sorry.
to listen, all
I'm
right.
dead.
Not just kidding,
No, go. Go ahead,
guys.
keep going.
That used to be me, but not anymore, guys. Now I'm
Yes.
like, let's okay,
Let's
like
talk
let's
about it.
let's see the problem here.
Yes.
And like even more recently, like I was having a really bad time with like a hater, and like it's just um I really had to learn to like realize like okay, this person clearly doesn't like me, not because of me, but because she sees something like Brand said that she can't have or can never be, and like that's just something that I had to learn to accept that you know what, like no matter how much I try to get this person to like me or to like be on good terms with her, it's not gonna happen because some people are just like that. Like she constantly sees something that she just can't have. And even though she tries to, like, it's like that's just so that how to explain
It's
it.
like when that happens, like she projects on. You can say
Yeah,
that,
yeah, definitely.
and it like disturbs like
Yeah,
your little
like my peace and my
yes,
bubble and all that,
yes.
gets disturbed, and like it's just
Like, let's keep it on this. It disturbs your peace because it.
yeah,
Why wouldn't it?
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And like trust me, like I understand that, guys. Like, and it gets to you, it really does. But the art of not giving a fuck is really seeing like, okay, like why doesn't this person like me, and realizing like, okay, like now I understand like why they don't like me. And you know what, like it's okay, they don't have to like me, I don't need them, they don't pay my bills, like
Exactly.
she doesn't even know what the fuck I've been through, or like the shit I've had to deal with,
And
like
what you still have to deal with, you know?
yeah, exactly. And just really learning to like accept and in a way forgive this person in your heart. Like I said, like we mentioned this before, like forgive them for yourself. That's gonna help you so much and to like grow and really like grow from this. And yeah, just like the art of not giving a fuck is really going to give you a sense of peace, because
Yes.
now I feel more at peace with this. And um not giving a fuck is also like setting boundaries. And for me, like I've set my boundaries, I've set my distance, and just come to terms with that. And like the fact that, you know what, like I have my own shit to deal with, and I don't have time to be dealing with that shit either.
And don't you feel so much fucking better?
Yeah, I really do, guys. Like so much peaceful.
Yes.
Like, and I still have to deal with this person, but you know what? In my I don't give a fuck state.
Yes.
Stay in your fucking lane.
For
Like it's
real.
okay. Like girl, like nobody out here tripping but you. Like
Exactly. And that's what I've been saying too. Oh, for me too, like in a lot of situations, like I have found myself like that people have to come to me, and apologize
mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, like I'm a solid as person. Like I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck what you say, what you think, and it just comes down to like obviously my experiences from like since I was little,
Yeah.
because it be your own family, and it be the
Yes,
people you live with. Like
yes.
literally, it be the people you live with, which is why like me personally, like I know that sucks to say that I grew up with that and I'm around that sometimes still, but I'm just proud to say that honestly, I became a better person and I didn't feed into that and I didn't become one of the haters.
Yes,
And to this day, I'm
exactly.
not a hater. Even if I don't like somebody, like I can have a conversation. Like I will
Same.
never like what you got going on does not have nothing to do with me. So
Yes.
that's how I keep myself too, like not to give a fuck about the haters, because yeah, it's hard, but I mean, at the end of the day, like telling myself that I have something they don't have, and that's why they're mad, just makes me feel so much better too. You
Yeah,
know?
like literally, like that's just gonna give you such, like I said, sense of peace and make you feel better. And I really like that, like you said that, like, and sadly, like it's sometimes within your own families, and I know how hard that's to deal with, but just don't become that hater either. Like don't be that person who
Don't
brings
give
other
in.
people down, and don't yeah, don't give into it. Like don't like at the end of the day, they already look so ugly doing that shit. Why do you want to look like that? Why do you even
Exactly.
want to portray that? Like no, be the bigger person, show them how much you don't give a fuck, shine on your own. Trust me, you only have to say words. They will literally see you glowing, and that's enough to get them.
Like
Trust
your glow
me.
will speak for itself.
Exactly, guys.
Cause trust me, that shit hurts.
Yeah,
It hurts.
it stings.
For real. I'm dead.
I love that.
Yes, and to end off this topic, if you're gonna keep going and glowing, don't let the haters fucking stop you from that. Because at the end of the day, they're hating because they're not on the wave you're on a different wave, and when you're on a better wave than other people, unfortunately, you're gonna have to come across some hate. But don't let that motivate you, and obviously just keep doing you and put yourself first, and obviously don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and haters are not just don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks about you, whether you're in
Yes.
public or alone. Who cares? Like who cares and what the situation is, where you are, doesn't matter. Just be yourself and stop giving a fuck about anyone or anything out there. Just worry about what the fuck makes you happy.
Yes, because haters are motivators.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, guys. And that ends our video for today, you guys. We really appreciate you tuning in. And like always, we could only hope for you to keep growing
Growing
and
and
glowing.
glowing.
Bye.
Bye.